Hi everyone, and welcome to my Archon review. Modern Warfare 2 releases tomorrow, so I wanted to get this out before then, so that if I wanted to do any non-zombies content, I'd be done with this. This review is going to be a lot more casual, like the last review. Uh, the gameplay isn't going to be synced up to what I'm talking about. It's more just going to be casual gameplay of me just messing around in the map, but I'll be discussing what I like about the map and my criticisms. So, here, yep. Okay, so to start off, I'm gonna do atmosphere. My God, I can't talk. Atmosphere and visuals. I'm gonna be a lot more critical of this map because there's a lot of reused assets. No hating on the devs or anything though, because I understand they're being constantly forced to work on stuff. But I'm still gonna just criticize the map as a map. Uh, so most of it is borrowed directly from Terra Maledicta. It kind of has a green tint on it, and they have these red smoke effects on the ground around the map. But it's really just Terra Maledicta, and for parts of the Easter egg, you'll be in the Dark Ether area, and if once you complete the Easter egg, you can open the Dark Ether area to play in, but since it's not there as much, you're mostly going to be spending time in the hub world from Terra Maledicta, reskinned. So it's just greenish, and I don't know, there are some nice visual effects, but at the same time, it doesn't feel visually distinct enough as like its own map. Like if you show someone a screenshot of Terra, I'm just going to say that for short. I don't want to say the whole thing every time. Or Archon, they're not going to be able to tell the difference unless they're like a hardcore player all the time. But yeah, not enough aesthetic differences there to really change stuff atmosphere wise. So for atmosphere and visuals, just tiny changes, so I'm gonna say 5 out of 10 because the game still looks good, but it's almost completely borrowed from Terra. Okay, so now to go on to map flow / gameplay. It's really strange because you can tell the map was not made for round based. There's some zombie pathing issues where if you buy a door, a zombie will spawn on the other side of that door and try to get to you through that door, which it can't because you already opened that. It's just really weird because the doors are kind of just randomly placed all around the map, and the progression isn't how round-based maps usually progress. Like, you can kind of choose very specific areas you want to open and kind of like avoid other areas, which leads to some pathing issues. But yeah, the progression and map flow is kind of weird. The fact that you don't get to be in the Dark Ether area for regular gameplay unless you complete the Easter egg is a negative in my book. There's a lot of good training areas, but yeah, it's still just a multiplayer map that they had to rework into zombies, so it wasn't built specifically for that type of round-based map flow, so it's going to be a bit different. But I mean, it's still fun, but it doesn't feel like how Shino Numa was a more refined version of what Vanguard round-based zombies could be like. They do change the layout of the Dark Ether area a little bit, and I don't know, it's really weird, minuscule changes, like they'll add an extra rock or something that I don't know why they changed some stuff, maybe for the boss fight specifically to make it harder. Just some small changes, but overall it's kind of it takes a while to get used to as a round-based map. But at the same time, you can say that for so many round-based maps where it's hard to find a good training area to stay alive. So I don't know, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 because it's still fun to replay Terra Maledicta as a round-based map because now that you know where everything is, you can think of like good places to train, stuff like that. You know the whole layout, strategy, whatever. So 6 out of 10 for the map flow and gameplay. Okay. For the Easter egg slash story, I'm gonna start with the story here. There was a lot of good character development, especially with Kraft and Von List. The radios are great. It's trying to like wrap everything up, but everything is building towards this big conclusion that never happens. You defeat Cortifex or spoiler warning, I guess the map's been out for a few months already. You defeat Cortifex, there's like a line saying you defeated him, and nothing else. There's like no conclusion. Kraft does kill Von List, which was a really good moment during the dialogue, but I know some people missed it because you're still playing while it's happening, so you don't even notice it. So that's kind of a problem when some people don't get to hear it. I know they had moments like that in Cold War, like when Kravchenko and Peck were in the building and they blew themselves up, even though both of them didn't die. But it kind of helped people to see that because there was a big explosion on the map. But yeah, I don't know. People who aren't invested in the story might not notice a lot of the stuff that's happening, and I don't know. All the radios I really like, but they all feel like they're building up to this conclusion that never really happens. It's just you defeat Cortifex and that's it. So yeah, that was really disappointing because the story is great as always. It's just I'm so surprised there was no payoff to anything. They'll probably build upon it in the next Black Ops game, but it's just a big disappointment because everyone was kind of wanting a little bridge to connect it to Black Ops Cold War, to see what happened, what was the fate of the Elder Gods, stuff like that. But no, we didn't really get that. So maybe they'll pop up in the next Black Ops game. Maybe some of them survived. I don't know. We'll have to wait for answers, basically. And yeah, a great story work, just no conclusion. So the Easter egg is kind of tedious. It's basically a bunch of small it's like I can't remember specifically right now, but it's like 3 small challenges you got to do. Not that small, but you got to get set up, all of that. It's okay. It's pretty straightforward, which is good, I guess. Yeah, you get the Decimator from one of the challenges. There is no new wonder weapon, which kind of sucks. The only 2 wonder weapons are the ray gun and the Decimator, and they called the Monkey Bomb a wonder weapon when the game came out, but it's not really true. But yeah, so that's kind of disappointing that there's no Easter egg to get a new weapon or anything. Nothing in the mystery box, stuff like that. I think their budget was definitely slashed. But what does save the Easter egg is the boss fight, which I thought was really fun. I thought Cortifex looked really cool the whole time. I liked his model. The voice lines were cool. All the effects were cool. It's just, as soon as the boss fight's over, it's not cool because there's no payoff. So for Easter egg and story, I'm gonna rate it as 7 out of 10 because I thought the boss fight was good and the story is always good. It's just there was no payoff, and the Easter egg parts leading up to the boss fight can be a bit tedious sometimes if you want to replay. So anyway, yeah, that's gonna be my review. My overall score, I would say, is a 6 out of 10 for the Archon. I wish Vanguard went out on a higher note because I was so excited to see an original round-based map and this whole new aesthetic they created that for the Dark Ether, stuff like that. People were saying it was like Zombie Army, and we never really got to see what a unique map in this setting would be like, except for the Dark Ether setting specifically from Terra Maledicta. So there was so much missed potential. I liked this game a lot more than most people do. So I really wanted to see what it could be at its full potential, but we're probably not going to see that now. Unless they surprise us and release something during Modern Warfare 2. But hopefully the devs get the time they need to work on the next game, and they aren't being stretched across like 5 different games at the same time. I feel so bad for Treyarch. They were probably put on Vanguard at like last second and had to come up with the very small scale mode compared to what they were used to doing. So yeah, it's still an enjoyable game. I don't know if it's worth full price for zombies alone, like I would say for Cold War, especially since you don't have to pay for the DLC, and Cold War is usually always on sale these days. So yeah, I'd say my favorite experience in Vanguard was definitely Shin Onuma remastered, like number 6 or something. But now they brought it back in COD Mobile. I think maybe I could do some content for that. I forgot about that. But anyway, I'm still working through the game, getting Dark Ether on the weapons, on DLC weapons now, because I got it on the other stuff. But yeah, I look forward to what Treyarch does with all their time that they're going to have, and I'm excited for Warzone 2, and Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer was pretty fun. But yeah, so can't wait for the future of zombies. Since we have a big break, I guess I can do a lot of zombies content for the past games like I did before Cold War, so look forward to that. Thank you all for watching, and goodbye.